time.
Are you scared? You should be.
Good job, baby.
This is the way.
Well, thank you so much. I was actually at the world premiere and I saw you from a distance and I wanted to say hi, but I wasn't able to. So it's great to meet you in person. I've been a big admirer of yours from Preacher and everything. So lovely to meet you.
Oh, oh well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to sort of meet you.
Thank you, thank you. So you have this incredible backstory I've read about from working at Toys R Us to becoming the main villain of a Star Wars movie, and delivering tons of great performances in between. How do you see this moment as the culmination of all your efforts of your career so far, and how do you think this is going to shift you into the next stage of your career?
Oh God, that's this is. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've never had any expectations of anything in my career. I've always put my head down and just kept working as much as I can, as often as I can, and on as varied things as I can. There's a lot of talk when you do a Star Wars that somehow it's going to elevate you to another platform. I don't think necessarily it happens like that. For somebody like me, especially, who's of the older generation, I think if anything happens after this, that's fine. But all I know is that I've been working as an actor for 40 odd plus years, and I've done a huge amount of work and varied work, and very proud of a lot of it, a lot of dismissive of some of it, but uh, and so people like me, I think we just keep going. We just keep going, and if something good comes out of it, it's great. All I know is I've done a Star Wars movie. You know, uh, not everybody can say that, and it's not the culmination of a career. It is it's a highlight for sure. It's absolute highlight, a supreme highlight. But it's not something that you can actually now expect things from. I don't think. Not me. I never do. I never would anyway.
I really appreciate how humble you are with that, and I want to add, not only are you in a Star Wars movie, but you are the primary antagonist, which is just it's a very cool distinction to hold. Um,
Yes.
well, another interesting distinction you have, which I'd love to get into, is the story behind your character's name resembling your real name so closely. Do you mind going into that? Like, what was the meaning or story behind
I
that?
wish I knew. I wish I knew. I think John Favreau, when I first had the meeting with him, um, I didn't do an audition for the job. I just got the job, and the next thing I know, I'm at the studio, and they've got me dressed up in a whole load of outfits for the season 3 Shadow Council scene. And there's a whole lot of guys, including a guy called Ron Batista, who was there as a friend of mine, and. He and Ron, I'm sorry, and John Favreau said to me, pulled me to the side, and said, "Okay, so we got a lot of things in store for you. Um, One of them is like we'd like to use your name in some way." And he says perhaps something like Commander Coyne or something. And I went, "Okay, that's fine. That's interesting. That's kind of nice. I kind of like that." And to be honest with you, when I first came to LA, I had a group of friends, American friends, who all gave each other nicknames, and my nickname, by coincidence, was Commander Coyne. I don't know, maybe
Oh,
so I have maybe I carry a lot of authority about me. I don't know, um, but they. And so when I got that, I thought this is going to be a great hoot for my friends. They're going to love the fact that I'm now called Commander Coyne. Um, and then I saw the contract, and it was Janu Coin, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's what they're doing. Okay, so that's all I know. They just decided to do that, and they knew it would tickle everybody, and it certainly has.
it definitely tickled me. I love that. And you were one of the few Star Wars actors to hold that distinction, which I think is awesome. You joined this great lineage too of these really refined, well-spoken, very calculated Imperial villains like Tarkin and Thrawn and Krennic, the great Peter Cushing, things like that. And now we have Janu. How do you see your characters existing in that lineage or tradition? And did you lean on performances like from Sir Peter Cushing or other performers in crafting Janu?
Oh, I wish I could. I wish I was that clever. No, I no, I it's like I said, I don't have any expectations. So you put me amongst all those guys, and I don't see myself in those amongst those people. I see myself as another actor who got lucky, and and uh, and so yeah, I didn't lean on any of those guys for a character. I think I once spoke to an actress friend of mine who was struggling with a part, and she said, well, I don't know what they want from me. And I had to formalize an answer for her when she texted me this question. And and as I was formalizing the answer, I was realizing this is what I was doing. I said to her, look, they cast you because you have an essence. You have a quality about you that they want to use. I don't think you have to walk in there with a limp or a twitch or something. You are the essence that they've hired. And so just do what you do, deliver the lines like you do with the honesty it requires. And that's what they're paying for. And that in itself will be unique in itself because you are a unique person. And so I guess I was answering the question just asked, which is like, well, how do you? I just do what I do, and if it's original, which I hope it is, maybe it sits in amongst that lineage because they were all original people anyway.
Yeah.
So the short answer is I don't know how I do things. I just do them.
I think that's such a beautiful answer and something that I hope other actors take away from this interview. Did you by any chance talk to Jon Favreau about the background of your character or like the backstory that maybe didn't end up on screen?
Very, very, very briefly, we FaceTimed. Once I'd been offered the job, once I'd been offered the movie, I mean, once the job, the part for the TV series was it came and it happened and it went where they didn't do season four. But when I was offered the movie, all I had was a conversation with John, and he just basically showed me animations of screenshots of what he plans to have as my office, my bar, my lair. So he kind of showed me what I wanted, and there wasn't a lot of talk about. There was a little bit of talk about, what he was doing in the background. He just making his living on the side while also being an imperial warlord. But that's it, because the character doesn't really. We don't sort of. We see him in glimpses of that world. I would have liked to see him in a lot more of that, but that's just being me being a greedy actor. So we just, I just went on what Jon Favreau asked me to do.
Yeah, and I think you've definitely excelled at that. I found every scene that you feature in is so magnetic, and your back and forth with Brendan Wayne and everything is terrific. So you have mentioned in a previous interview that you were going to play, that you're going to continue to play Jano, excuse me, from season three into season four, and obviously that was reworked into a film. How did your role as Jano differ in the planned season four compared to what we ultimately got to see in the film?
There were, as far as I mean, there were plans for me to do it. I wasn't informed about what I was going to do. When I did the Council scene, I was, well, I was sick on the day, so I had to go and shoot. I shot it separately by myself in what they call the pickups. So I kind of just was there, standing there by myself, doing the pickup shots and having lines fed to me by John and Noah, the other writer, and stage management. So to be honest with you, my scene was me fumbling through the three lines that I had, really. So, yeah, I mean, and so how it developed into the season four, I don't know because we never got there. So I never got to see what they were planning to do.
Got it. Okay. And then you did mention about possible participation in a season of Boba Fett. Would you mind telling me a little bit about that?
Again, that was part of the deal. They said we'd like you to do us had 3 or 4 episodes, and we're considering possibly using one of those episodes for Boba Fett, and that's all I got from that. I mean, it's a really weird. I mean,
Yeah.
about a giant machine that is the Star Wars world, and it's impossible for you personally to know the whole story, but they know what they're doing. They know the story they want to tell, And they're also very cautious about how much they want to tell because it gets fed out.
Mm.
Like you, people like you want to know.
I'm responsible.
But they purpose they know. I mean, I remember John Favreau said to me once he offered me the job of the movie. He said, "You can be signing your name for the rest of your life, but listen, you're going to be asked a lot of questions. Try not to give anything away because the truth is they will make up their own stories anyway."
Yeah, which I think is so much of the fun of Star Wars, right? You
Well,
kind of
yeah, exactly. I
got,
mean,
yeah.
so far I've had stories told by fans that would think like, "What if that was the truth? That would be fantastic. That would make me a movie star." But no, they're not doing that. They've got their own stories. They've got their own world, and I feature a little bit in it, and that's nice.
That's real. That's amazing. You actually lead right into my next question. So you're someone who has this vast filmography and have worked in a lot of different mediums. How does working on a Star Wars project, in particular a Star Wars film, differ from like the average project?
Well, I mean, I've done some big films. I've done some very small films, independent movies. It's always surprises me. It's always amazing to me the sheer dedication that all the people involved in these movies are. Whether it's like a small, independent movie that cost 90,000. I've done one of those, $90,000, and it was all shot with Canon. Oh, is it Canon cameras? It was a great little movie. It's actually coming out. It's been released. It's a film called White Devils. It's finally being released after a few years of being in the waiting. What am I saying? So I've done all sorts, and it's all surprised me the sheer amount of people that are involved. So stepping onto Star Wars thing, yeah, the numbers are greater. Yeah, the sets are bigger and better. Um, is it different? Of course, it's different. But I've also done Hangover 3, and that's a massive amount of people on that. A massive, it's a big show. Um, do I think it's well, of course it is. Well, a stupid thing to it is. Of course it is. It's green screens everywhere, and there's the volume, and then there's the giant sets. There's a lot more money involved. So yeah, it is a bit overwhelming up to a point, but John Favreau really kind of looks after you.
You have him to kind of have your back throughout that
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
Yeah.
He knows that can overwhelm somebody, even somebody who's been doing it as much as I have. You can get overwhelmed by these things and just freeze up. But I was he was very comforting and he kind of looked after me. He was very good.
That's incredible. And that's consistent with what we've heard that he's been such a great mentor and guide throughout a process. So we've spoken to a lot of Star Wars actors, and one question we love to ask is there's this famous saying that a film is written three times, first in the screenplay, next in production, and finally in the edit. And there's always so many fascinating unused or deleted scenes, concepts, ideas, even like little moments or facial expressions that get left on the cutting room floor. Was there anything for this film or for your scenes in particular that was left on the cutting room floor that you thought, oh, that would be pretty cool to see one day?
Not the scenes, not the scenes. I mean, I pretty much got the scenes. There was nothing cut from my scenes. The real problem for me, and it's not really a problem because they're the ones who put in the movie together, is like, oh, I wish they'd taken because when they do a scene, they're doing it from all angles, and you think, oh, I wish they'd taken that because I think that was a really good shot, and I think they had a really good close up of me there, and I would have liked to seen that on the big screen, but they chose the one from over here. I get it. It probably looks good for them, and maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was over here. So it's never the shot that you want.
Mm,
That I learned early on in doing TV and movies. It's never the shot that you would have liked. It's
mm,
always the shot they prefer, and that part of it is because hey, there was a bit of noise in that nice shot, or the light wasn't quite right, or something wasn't quite right about it, or maybe you stumbled over it. Something wasn't quite right, and that shot from over here is much better.
got it. Okay, that's so fascinating. That's really fascinating. What do you, so obviously Janu in the film is left on a bit of an open-ended note. He's apprehended by the New Republic, and that's kind of all we see of him. Um, Surely he's going to come back, right?
Surely he's come back. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that John has actually left it open so that I can come back, or that there is the option that I can come back. I think that's the reality of it, rather than will come back. It's like there's an option there we can use Johnny if there is going to be a second one. And hey, why kill off somebody who we like, and maybe we'll use him in something else. So no, there's no what you're what you're trying to get from me is there a story ahead that you don't know about, and I don't know that I don't know what they've got. Like I said, it's a giant machine.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars. It's a big story. They know the story that they want to tell, and it's guided by the popularity of the movie and how it works, and whether they think they can do another story, add another story, another strand to that story.
Yeah, so a lot of that is ultimately out of your hands. Yeah, I understand. As a last question, I wanted to ask, so you've been in this industry for a number of years, and like I said earlier, have had a number of accomplishments, worked in a number of different mediums. If you were speaking to like a young actor now who's someone who wants to break through into the industry and maybe aspires to one day have the caliber of career that you have, what words of advice would you give them?
Oh, I don't know about. Oh, listen, you just put your head down and keep working. I mean, through the grim times, and there are a lot of grim times. Um, uh, just keep working. Just grab everything you can while you can, and and I have no expectations. Like I said, I don't have any expectations of. I've never had any expectations of my career. It was a surprise to me that I decided to come to America to work on TV and film. I'd always envisaged myself working in theatre for the rest of my life. And then I had a little taste of TV and film. I thought, well, maybe I like this. I'll do some more of it if I can. So I'll go to America and see if I can do it there. I mean, I never have any expectations. Don't have expectations. Just love what you do. And if you stop loving it, there's the door. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. I mean, you have to love it because it's a miserable life when it's not when you're not making money and you're not doing what you love. So best to be in love with it and the process, and in love with the work and the possibilities of the work. That'll sustain you. If you don't have that love, you get out of that hole now, because you're going to be miserable.